Doing a couple of overhaul jobs to the tanker today. Here needs a new gasket, it was just leaking. So we just pulled that cover off. We're getting some gasket paper to make a gasket for it. And down here, since this is a sprung drawbar, I'll go around to where there's a bit more light. This sprung drawbar on the tanker is very good for, it's actually very good and comfortable to pull when there's a full load in it. But what happened over time is the spring is losing its tension, as I suppose we would say. And here it ends up, the tanker has come down. So the tanker actually sits lower on the front and puts pretty much all the weight on the back of the tractor. And it leaves that there's a bit of an imbalance in how much weight's been put across the entire the wheels of the tanker and the wheels of the tractor. So this here, this pin here, I'm going to pull this pin out. It's actually seized, so I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to move it up a notch and see how it goes from there. If I need to, I might move it another one. This here is an old hitch that I have modified. It was completely wore out. It was taken off the tractor. It was no good. But I've modified it to make a mobile press. Use this to take the pins out of the links on the chains of the excavator, and it works very, very well. And hopefully it's going to work here now for what I'm going to do. If I can get this pin moving, I'll obviously have to move this up and not do that. But anyway, I have to move this up here where I can get out the pin. The 30 ton jack that come out of the press that we have, the shop press, will push it and hopefully I'll get it moving. If I get it moving, that's all I need. It should come out from there then. So going to do that and see how we get on. This tanker is going to get sandblasted and painted hopefully in the not so distant future, because it's getting to the point laying outside that it's getting a bit rough. And we'll hopefully get around to all that too. You can see a lot of rust. So a couple of projects on here at the moment. Wheels off tractors and oil leaks. But anyway, I'll give an update when I get it moved and show you what's going on. So I got this set up. I've just got a bit of a pin on it and I've in tight against this edge. It takes a few minutes to get this set up because it's so heavy. It's ready for pressing. Now I'm going to put a bit of pressure on it, see how it goes. I may have to move this. It doesn't look very straight, but it depends on how much it needs to. I also going to take the weight off it. Is another big thing, is the weight of the actual tanker is actually sitting on the pin still. So I'm just going to grab another jack, put a little bit of weight, take a little bit of weight off this so that this gets the full, can use as much pressure on the pin, on the bolt holding it as possible. So that's the entire weight of it now. It is free now. As free as it's going to be, so let's see where this goes. Yeah, this isn't going to work. That's right. Move this. This pin really isn't going to work. It's not at all ideal for this job. I just found this and I thought it might be okay, but the edges aren't straight enough on it, so with the edges being a wee bit rough and uneven, it's putting it all off. So I have to rethink this plan and try again. I'm going to cut the end off this now just to make this a little bit more secure. So if it's square, it should work pretty well in the press. So. Try this now and see how this goes. Not yet. Sounds pretty good. It's actually moving now. I think it's moving. I hope. Pressure has to be going somewhere. Pressure has to be going somewhere. It's tight. May have to give this some heat, but I think it's moving. It has moved a little bit. I think it wants to move. I don't think it wants to go in here. Leave it for a second, maybe in the heat might get at it. I might just take this other bolt out and just take the whole bracket off and drop and actually push the whole bush out of the spring. I don't want to put too much heat in there in case it damages the spring. You know, it might pop. That's it. Start bending. Where is it?
It'll be a toner over. Yeah, good bit there.
That's probably alright then. Because you have to remember the weight comes on the spring again, it's going to come down a bit again. Just the pin's very bad, isn't it? Well, I should just put a wee bit of strip of weld on it. Do lovely. You know. Might just do that. So small follow-up on the tanker. We got it all back together. I put the pin back in, everything's very good, and from a bit of a distance you can see how much the tanker is sitting up at the front. So whenever it's actually hitched on, it's sitting the way it should be, so that any contents in the tanker flows to the back, even whether you're on a hill or not. So it helps the tanker empty out properly, and it also takes a lot of weight off the back of the tractor. The tractor was dragging a lot and carrying a lot of weight on the back tires. So, but yeah, that worked out pretty well. We fixed the gasket here. There's a gasket leaking, and it's back ready for a bit of service. It's going to get a paint job hopefully this year, but until then, that's it.